Welcome to the video on vocabulary exercises. This video is going to explain how to do your vocabulary exercises that are due weekly in class. Usually you'll get your words on whatever, usually Monday, but whatever, if there's no Monday school day, then whatever day of the week school starts. And then at the end of the week, you should expect to be quizzed or tested on the vocab words and the spelling words and the root words. So let's go ahead and take a look. At the beginning of the week, you're going to get a handout that looks like this. At the top, it'll say vocabulary and spelling study, and you can see the grade, the semester, and the week. So this is the very first one for grade 11, semester 1, week 1. And then what you're going to notice is that the first 10 items are the vocab words. Okay, so abdicate, anachronism, chastisement, commission, and you'll see they go all the way down to number 10. Then number 11, 12, and 13, these words are spelling words. Okay, you don't need to necessarily know the definition of them for the test. All you need to know is how to spell them. And then at the end, there are root words or word parts, such in this week it's ab, and ism. You need to know what it means, and you also need to know examples of words that make up that root. Okay, so for example, ab means away or from. Abnormal is an example because if something is abnormal, it's away from normal. Okay, so let's get into how to do your homework. So you may get a handout that looks like this in class that explains how you need to format your paper. Okay, and it's basically saying you need your name, period, and date, the title, and you're going to kind of format it with a left side and a right side with a line down, and it'll explain to you what you need to have on your paper, but I'm going to walk you through it step by step. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is get out a lined sheet of paper. You may need to pause this video as you go to kind of keep up because I'm going to go fast. My examples are already done. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to want to do is get a lined piece of paper and go ahead and at the top you're going to write your name, period, and date like you always will, and then you need to title it all the time, otherwise you may not receive credit, or if you have to show it to the teacher again later and you don't know what week it is, we're not going to take the time to go back and find out. So make sure to always label your work. Then the next thing that you want to do is, the first step is you're on the left side. You're going to start off by writing the word, the part of speech, a synonym, and an anonym. So looking at this week's vocabulary, the word was abdicate. It meant to give up formally a high office, throne, or authority. Now on your handout, you're going to see an example sentence. This is just an example sentence. You don't need to copy it or memorize it or anything like that. It's just to give you an idea of how to use it and also to give you a hint of what part of speech it is. So this says, in the past, a king of England had to abdicate the throne if he wanted to marry a divorced woman. Well, you can tell from this sentence that abdicate is being used as a verb. He had to abdicate is an action that he did. So you can tell that abdicate is a verb. So we write abdicate, we write verb, and then over here, you're going to go ahead and write the definition on this side. So the definition was to give up formally a high office, throne, or authority. Now, you want to write a synonym for the word. Remember, synonym means the same. So to abdicate, you're giving up something. That could mean to forfeit. And the opposite would mean to acquire, because the opposite of giving up is to get something. Okay, then the next step is you're going to have to write your own sentence using that vocabulary word. So, for example, your teacher will always tell you what kind of sentence to write. So for example, let's say this week it's compound sentences. So here's an example of a compound sentence using the word abdicate. And you want to go ahead and underline the word that you use. So we're going to say the king abdicated his throne, comma, and he moved far away. And that's a compound sentence. But then the next step is you need to highlight it. We talked about highlighting and labeling your sentences in class. So you're going to go ahead and highlight that, and then you're going to draw a picture to go with it. So it may look something like this. Compound sentences are yellow, green, yellow. So I highlighted the independent clauses, the king abdicated his throne, he moved far away, and I highlighted the coordinating conjunction green and the punctuation pink, and I drew a picture to go with it. I just drew a quick little picture of a king leaving his throne right there. And this, all of this is what you need to do for each of number 1 to 10. So then the next thing that you would do is you would go ahead and write number 2. The next word is anachronism, and write the definition. You'd start to do it all over again. So this is how you do steps 1 to 10. Now, when you get to 11, 12, and 13, it changes. You don't need to do this for 11, 12, and 13. Let me show you what you need to do for 11, 12, and 13. We said 11, 12, and 13 are spelling words. So what you're going to do is you're going to write out the spelling word in what we call a pyramid, letter by letter. So let's say the first one is catalog. What you're going to do is you're going to write it out like this, letter by letter. C, C-A, C-A-T, C-A-T-A, C-A-T-A-L, and so on until you got the whole word spelled. And you're just going to go ahead and do that for 11, 12, and 13. Then, for 14 and 15, all you need to do is just copy it. So, again, on the handout, 14 was ab, means away or from, and it gave you example words. So you're just going to copy that. You don't need to make a sentence. You don't need to do a pyramid, nothing like that. You're just going to copy it so that you can study it later. So this is all you need to do for your weekly vocab. So again, to review, you're going to have numbers 1 through 10 will look like this. You'll have a word, part of speech, synonym, anonym, definition, a sentence as the teacher directs with a picture. Then 11, 12, and 13 are the pyramids, and 14 and 15 are the roots. Here's an example of a fully completed one by a student. This is week 14. Same thing, you can see the word, the part of speech, the synonym, the anonym, the definition. They labeled compound sentence. The only thing that's wrong with this one is what? They didn't finish highlighting it. But other than that, it looks good. So this one would not have gotten full credit because they didn't actually highlight the sentences in the correct way. Then you can see, so you can see how it kind of looks for the whole thing being done. And then if you turn the page and look on the back, you can see that this student also did the pyramids and the roots right there. And they got it all done on the front and back of one piece of paper. Okay, and then they would just, you hold on to that and you study it until Friday, and then you take your quiz on Friday and you turn it in. This should be ready to go and turned in at the beginning of the class on Friday.